about half mile from this underpass here. We found a cozy little spot tucked into this little valley, and there's a little creek running through it. Then it turns into a little bit bigger creek, and that's where I was letting the dogs swim. Now, last time Dodger, he tripped on one of these cattle grates, and then he limped a little bit afterwards. If he goes on the side here, he can do it, but it's a little, there's not much room there. I mean, they're dangerous for even me to walk on. Dodger, over here. Over here. Yes. Good. I guess they're learning. That's cool. So we really lucked out because this spot that I got, it's a nice, pretty private little campsite because it's tucked into this little valley with little hills right on both sides of the road that leads into it. And the thing is, this place, it's pretty tight. The little campsites and stuff, there's a couple big rigs down there, big fifth wheels, a lot bigger than my trailer. But they've been there before, like they kind of know where to turn around and stuff like that. So this camping area feels a little tight to me. Luckily, nobody else has really come in to camp because there's not really great spots left. So we got into this spot, but now the little camp area, it feels a little crowded. Like where we are, it's really secluded, and our little spot is really secluded and nice. But if someone else comes in with a big rig, then they're gonna feel kind of like I felt at first, was like, oh, I better find a spot quick because I don't want to have to keep driving up this road. Because if you keep going up the road, it gets a little sketchy. Some guy told me that, oh yeah, you can get a trailer up there. And I believe him, but I walked it a little bit and it sketched me out enough. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to drive up that road. Now this road getting out here, it's a gravel road. You can see it goes that way. So you got to drive off the freeway for a few miles. Then you get on this gravel road. It's also kind of steep. You can see how it goes down here. And then right before the campground, it gets pretty steep. So I did have to put it in 4x4. And to get out, I'm definitely going to have to be in 4x4. Which, that's one of the things on the apps. Like I use the iOverlander app to find this place. And it said, oh, any car can come this way. You can do this. And they said, oh, there's big rigs down here. And it's true. Like you could get a big rig. Obviously you can get fifth wheels down here. And if you were in a motorhome that didn't have 4x4, you might be hurting it on a couple of these little hills. It wasn't mentioned in any of the reviews on the iOverlander app about needing 4x4, but you know, I would definitely recommend it for just these two little hills if you're towing something. If you're not towing anything, you could do it fine with two-wheel drive. And I came up here in the mountains to get away from the heat, because where we left now is about 100, and Page, Arizona was 106. And up here it's supposed to be about 90. And we're gonna be in the shade a lot, so that's gonna really help. We're in Utah now. It feels a little different, like the people around here feel a little different than Arizona. You can just kind of feel it, you know, the places that you go by, there's a lot more churches around here. Or what do the Mormons call them? What do they have? Temples? Churches? It's kind of making me think about this Nomadic Fanatic video I watched, his last couple videos. I'll put a link to it. He had an experience up in the Olympic Peninsula, up in Washington State. And Nomadic Fanatic channel is a great nomad channel. If you like the Got Out channel, you should definitely check out Nomadic Fanatic. The dogs and I were inspired a lot by what he does. And he puts out a lot of really good information and a lot of fun stuff. But he was up in the Olympic Peninsula, and basically these drunk guys came into his campsite, and he said they started moving his stuff around, like moving his lawn chair, you know, moving his camp chair around. and his tripod for his camera. So when he got back to camp, he was like, his whole camp was rearranged, and these jerks were there with their ATVs, and they were all drunk, and then they started playing their music really loud, and he's got video of it, and it's like, oh man, it seemed like they were harassing him, and that's what he said. He felt like he was harassed. So the Nomadic Fanatic, man, he was smart, and he just left. He said he confronted them a little bit, and they said, oh, you're just gonna have to deal with it. And they were drunk and riding their ATVs in his campsite. So he had to pack up his towed vehicle and all of his stuff, and he just left without making a stink afterwards. And that's what I would have done too. It hasn't happened to me yet. Everybody's been really friendly, but I could imagine running into especially some drunk guy, and you feel really uncomfortable, you know. You don't know if people are gonna fly off the handle. You just don't know what kind of people are. You think people are gonna treat you the way you treat them. Those mountains are pretty neat. I mean, those look like Utah mountains, right? Like the white and yellow colors. You don't know what kind of people are. You just kind of run into people out here, and you can usually tell if they're friendly, but you still don't know. And so if someone's giving you grief for being a jerk, moving your stuff around, riding an ATV in your campsite, and they were being loud from the video he's got. They were being obnoxiously loud, and it's like, oh yeah, they were pretty much trying to make him leave his campsite, even though he was there first, which can kind of become an issue when you pick a site that's kind of big, because sometimes people can squeeze in, and you know, a lot of times that's just the way it is. Like, I'll pick a campsite sometimes and it'll be fairly big, right? You could fit a couple other vehicles in there. And sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and there'll be a van, like right in, you know, basically in my site. And especially vans, man, people in vans, they're really chill and quiet, and they take off in the morning, like they take off early. They're usually only there for the day. It's a different lifestyle, especially than what we have. So that's one thing I keep in mind when I pick a site that's big enough for other vehicles. Then I keep in my mind that, you know, someone could pull in here. So you have to keep your vehicle in a way that you can escape, basically, if you need to. You know, if you decide you want to leave, then you have a proper egress out of that site if someone comes in. I've had one person once, they kind of blocked my vehicle in, and I had to ask them to move just so I could get out in case I wanted to leave, you know, because an emergency could happen. In that case, like, I actually did want to leave in the morning, so I needed a way out, and so I had to ask them to move, but that's only happened once. But a lot of times people come out here, they just want to be by themselves. You don't really want to camp near other people. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes the areas are set up in a way that, you know, everybody has to kind of camp in one spot, kind of like a big lot. But in these individual sites, like the site that Nomadic Fanatic picked, it was a little bit big, so people could squeeze in, and that's what these people did. So the story gets really good, though. You got to watch the Nomadic Fanatic channel. I don't want to give away his video, so watch his video. He's got 2 of them on this topic. And I'll just say, to really tease his video, because man, his channel is really cool. You got to check out the Nomadic Fanatic. To tease his video, this guy that I'm talking about that took over his campsite, that was drunk riding the ATV around, he ends up dead. We're having a good time out here. Thanks for watching the Got Out channel, and you know, hit that like button for Echo. Hit that like button for Dodger. We're gonna go have breakfast, and then we're gonna go in the creek later today a few times when it gets hotter. And then we're just gonna relax and edit some videos today. So if you like the Got Out channel, let us know. We like to know you're watching. And hopefully we're encouraging some of you to get out on your own when you can.